Hi, I am Gül. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Glasgow. In this video, I'm going to present the study I and my collaborators from University of Zurich conducted on interpersonal conflicts during code review. Code reviews are widely used software engineering practices to improve software quality. In a typical code review, a developer, namely the author, implements a code change. And this code change gets inspected by one or more other developers, whom we call the reviewers. Reviewers can accept the author's code change and include it in production, or they can ask for further improvements. As a response to reviewers' comments, the author can implement a new version of the code change, and this can lead to an iterative process that ends when the developers accept the code change or reject it. During code reviews, there can be exchange of competing ideas, and reviewers can frequently give negative feedback to authors. As a result, interpersonal conflicts during code reviews can be inevitable. An interpersonal conflict is a dynamic process between interdependent parties. Barkey and Harvig indicate that the components of conflicts are as follows: negative emotions, disagreements, and interference. As an example, let's have a look at this email, which contains a code review sent to Linux kernel mailing list. In this email, we can see traces of negative emotions and also disagreements on how the code should have been implemented. And interference is in the form of sending an email containing a harsh language to the emailing list. Destructive conflicts can cause problems in adherence to budget, schedule, and requirements. In contrast, constructive conflicts can lead to formation of new ideas and improve software quality. Therefore, it is crucial to understand conflicts and manage them. Our research focus comprises three main areas, which are developers' experience and perception, conflicts, and conflicts consequences, and conflict management. In our qualitative study, we conducted interviews with 22 developers and analyzed the transcripts using thematic analysis. Our findings regarding developers' perception and experience of conflicts can be summarized as follows. Developers perceive conflicts as normal and hard to anticipate or handle. For instance, a developer reported that they usually don't know what to do when a conflict happens. Moreover, developers perceive conflicts as unpleasant but potentially beneficial and specific to code review context. Such conflicts can get personal but happen in an impersonal environment, which is the code review setting. Our findings are also answering the following questions. What are conflicts like? What are conflicts about? Where is the disagreement? Conflicts can be public in the form of heated argument, blocking, forcing, or ignoring. An example of heated argument is the email that was sent to Linux kernel mailing list, and this was shared in the previous slides. Conflicts can also be in the form of lack of progress, and they can be accompanied by proactivity. And proactivity can be in the form of involving third parties or carrying the discussion outside the code review tool. Based on our findings, we recommend practitioners observe for early signs of conflicts and stagnation. Conflicts can also be about functional aspects such as completeness of features functionality, or non-functional aspects including performance, security, and maintainability. Conflicts can also be about bad procedures, and this can be due to lack of adherence to standardizations, guidelines, or conventions, including coding conventions. Based on our findings, we recommend software practitioners to identify areas to gather expertise and knowledge and improve process. The disagreement can be about the task definition, which can be the definition of what is done and the code review goal. It can also be about code review quality, available information, and acceptable behavior. As an example of task definition, one developer reported that if a code is working and secure, then this should be enough, and coding conventions are irrelevant. However, another developer might think that coding conventions are crucial for good software quality. Therefore, it is crucial to identify differences in perspectives and potential acceptable outcomes. Our findings on conflicts consequences can be summarized as being negative and positive. Negative consequences are poor practices, worse code quality, and worse maintainability. And also developers can leave jobs and lose their trust in code review process. Collaboration and communication in teams can get worse, and working conditions in organizations can deteriorate. Moreover, there can be losses from underutilized workforce. Positive consequences can be improved practice, better maintainability and code quality. And positive consequences can also include developers' professional growth, and developers can gain trust in the review process. Collaboration and communication in teams can get better, and also the working conditions in organizations can improve. There can also be gains from well-utilized workforce. Therefore, we recommend software practitioners to strive for conflict resolution. Finally, our findings on conflict management can be summarized as follows. As individuals, to manage conflicts, developers report employing the following strategies, which are acknowledging the conflict, getting involved in conflict resolution, adapting to individuals, if needed, asking for third-party intervention, and preparing for the code review and communication. And such preparations can include acquiring the required knowledge to do the code review, and also deciding on how the communication between the parties will be conducted. Finally, developers report that to manage conflicts as teams, they employ the following strategies, which are setting a process against stagnation, automation, and standardization. To sum up, developers perceive conflicts as normal, and conflicts can be beneficial and can help to improve code review process. Therefore, conflicts are not to be prevented but managed. Thank you very much for your attention.